Happy Hanukkah. Today is on the brachas, daf Chov Vav, Amud Beis. And we almost finished the sugya yesterday. We're about 7-8 lines from the bottom. So the gemorah asks, Ibailu, Rabbi Yehuda plug mincha kama kama or plug mincha achronim kama? So quick recap, there's machlokes Chachamim and Rabbi Yehuda, till when can you daven mincha? Chachamim say till the night, till it's dark, ad laila. And Rabbi Yehuda says till plug mincha. There's a machlokes what a laila means. Does that mean till shkia? Does that mean till tseis? The Pasha says that it means till laila. That's the Shulchan Paskins. We saw others say no, you've got dafka till shkia sacham until the sun starts, till the sun sets. But Rabbi Yehuda says you have till plug mincha. Now plug mincha means half of mincha, half the afternoon. You have till half the afternoon. That's the literal translation, half of the afternoon. So which half? The first half or the second half? In other words, there's two ways you can calculate the mincha, the afternoon. From the beginning of when you be muck of the carbon, from the beginning of which is from the 12 o'clock in the afternoon, midday. So is it from midday till 6 p.m.? Half of that is you got till 3 in the afternoon to daven mincha. After 3 p.m., for Pashas, you could daven ma'ariv. Or do we say no? Since they normally brought the carbon halfway in the day at 3 p.m., you could bring it from 12:30 more accurately. But since they only did bring it at 3:30, at 3 in the afternoon, or 3:30, 9.5 hours in a day. So, plug mincha means from then till the evening. You half of that. So what do you half? The 5.5 hours or the 2.5 hours? Which plug mincha are we going to use? That's the Gemara's question here. Ibailu. So Rabbi Yehuda, plug mincha kama, the first plug, I plug mincha achronim kama, or the second plug. So, Toshma, let's prove it from this brisa. Toshma, the Tanya, Rabbi Yehuda Aimer, plug mincha achronim kama. Rabbi Yehuda is talking about the second plug mincha, not the first plug mincha. It can't be talking about the first, it's talking about the second plug mincha. How do I know? Because it says in the brisa. V'hi yud aleph shas chaser aviyah. According to Rabbi Yehuda, when is a plug mincha? Till when can you daven mincha? Says Rabbi Yehuda, 11 hours minus a quarter. In other words, you take off, if there's 12 hours to the day, you take off 1 hour and a quarter. Why? Because we said from 9.5 hours to 12 hours in a day, there's 2.5 hours. So the afternoon is 2.5 hours. There's man mincha. From mincha ketana, you've got 2.5 hours. From mincha ketana. So half of 2.5 hours, 1.25. So you split the 2.5 hours into 1.25 before, 1.25 after. That's plug mincha. Halfway from mincha ketana, which is 10 hours and 45 minutes. AKA 75 minutes before tseis. That's what Yehuda says, 75 minutes before tseis. That's the cheshbon. Interestingly enough, if you hold like Rabbeinu Tam, that tseis is 72 minutes after the first shkia. So when's plug? Let's see if you're holding cheshbon. Plug is 3 minutes before the first shkia, according to Rabbeinu Tam. So you have another 3 minutes, according to Rabbeinu Tam, before the first shkia that you can daven mincha, whatever it is. According to Rabbeinu Tam, I think you daven mincha till the second shkia. Basically, according to Rabbeinu Tam, there's a first shkia, 60 minutes later there's a second shkia, and then you've got your 12 minutes of twilight zone, benish mashas. So, but plug mincha is 1 hour and 15 minutes, 75 minutes before the first shkia, so it's 3 minutes before the first shkia, according to Rabbeinu Tam. So, says the gemorah. So we have a brisa here that says, the Rebbe Yehuda holds, we're referring to the second plug. Not halfway from mincha gedola, which would be 2.5 hours in, halfway from mincha ketana, which is 1.25 hours in. Okay, so it says gemorah, name it tavet yivta Reb Chanina. This would imply a kasha on Reb Chanina. Back to Reb Chanina. Reb Chanina said that what? That who was masakin at Tfilis? Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. They were masakin tefillah. So this is going to be a kasha on that shita, because you see he holds, according to this whole thing, it's totally in the korbanos, it's not totally in the Avos HaKadoshim, it's based on the korban, it's based on the korban. To the Rabbi Yosef B'Chanina, Amalach Rabbi Yosef B'Chanina, La'ila me'melach tefillas Avos tiknum. You're right, I agree with you. Who is Mesaken tefillah? The Avos. V'asmechinu rabbanon ha'korbanos. But they tied it into the sacrifices. You're right. Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, they instituted prayer. But the Chachamim said when to do it. Plaga mincha gedola. When do you have? That's what his job was. If you're not going to say that Chazal tied it to the sacrifices, tefillas musaf. Who was Masak and Musaf according to Beis B'Chanina? We don't have a fourth father. There's only three. Shachas Mincha Ma'ariv. Who is Masak and Musaf? Ella has to be tefillas Avos tiknum. It was Avram Yitzchak Yaakov Vasmechinu Rabban Lakabanais. 2 dots. So the Chazal said we got tie it into the Kabbalah. So we're on Chav of 3 lines from the bottom. Interestingly, so the gemorah's proof is from Musaf. That the gemorah's proof is from Musaf that the others we don't follow. We say that Chazal were Masakin are based on Korbanos. So there's 2 questions there. First of all, what difference does it make halachically if it came from the others, or if it's based on the Korbanos? Is there a difference for us? So the Achronim say there is a difference. The difference is like this. If you say that the others were Masakin, if you say the others were Masakin, the tefillas, so why should Ma'ariv be Rishus? If Yaakov is Masakin Ma'ariv, they want to say Ma'ariv is a chayva. Shachas is a chayva, Mincha is a chayva, and there's no difference. Yaakov, the Bechira Avos, that's the lotion they use. He was Masakin Ma'ariv, it should be a chayva. But if you say that it's korbanos, so there's a difference. What's Ma'ariv Keneged? Which carbon was Ma'ariv Keneged? There was no carbon, there was Tomash Shachar, Tomash Ben Abayim. So what was the Ma'ariv? That they used to, whatever was left over, they burnt at night. They had the whole night to burn the Var, right? Whatever they didn't take out. It wasn't a chayva to burn it. There was a chayva, it was a mitzvah. Therefore, just like that, just like there wasn't a chayva to burn whatever's left over, if there's nothing left over, you didn't burn anything. So here also, it's not a chayva, it's a rishus, it's a mitzvah. And actually that's in mashmai. So we paskin, the Rambam paskins like, he says it's in place of the korbanos, and the mashmai says, and that's why it's a rishus. We paskin it's a rishus. Nafkamin is going to be, if you forgot to daven, if you have to daven again, all sorts of ramifications, if it's a chayva rishus. Rambam says we were makabel as a chayva. But that's the implication over here, that it's tali habaha. If you say that the korbanos, if it's keneged korbanos, then ma'ariv is a rishus. If you say the ovas misaken it, then ma'ariv is a chayva. That's a someone alone. I'll call upon him. Okay. Another interesting nukuda, none to do with the daf, but the Zohar says that who is Masakin Musaf? Yosef. Yosef is like the Bechira of the Shvatim. And so the Zohar says Yosef is Masakin Musaf. Why he was like the Bechor? Why is he like the Bechor? Because we see that his sons, each one became like a Shevet. So it's like he was one of the fathers. Each one of his kids is like one of the Shvatim. So therefore he's like Miktsas enough. That's what the implication is. The Yavitz asked him, and he asks all the kashas on the Zohar. One of the kashas he asks is, our gemorah first of all says, there's no pasuk. If there's a pasuk, then he'd say, Avram, they bought a pasuk. Yitzchak, they bought a pasuk. There's no pasuk for Yosef. They just say it was Yosef. Like Shenema, who said it was Yosef? What's the pasuk? But there's another kasha the Achronim ask, which is, if he's Misak and Musaf, so why aren't we saying Musaf every day? We only do Keneged Korban Musaf. You don't do Musaf every day. Shachas you have to do every day. Mincha you do every day.
So he's only Masakin Keneged the day that you would bring the Musaf.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but that's not the. They seem to be understanding that if he's Misakin Musaf, the same Musaf. Okay. The another Nakuda is how does he understand the Brisa? The Brisa clearly says the Avos Misakin. So how's the other Mandomer, Shubba Levi, going to understand that Brisa? He said, the Avos Misakin. What do you mean? It's a Takona Kadega Korbanos. The Brisa says it was Avos. Avram Tikkun Shachris. So what he's going to say is that he was Misakin for himself. It wasn't a Chayva L'Deiris. Chazal said it's a Chayva L'Deiris. The Avos, some ways they say is they couldn't make a Takona for Klal Yisrael. They didn't make Takonos for Klal Yisrael. The point is that they themselves prayed. Maybe he was Masakin, his kids have to say, but not that it's a Takona, the whole Klal Yisrael has to do it l'Deiris. And Chazal came ahead and said, you mechayiv to do it just like Korbanos. Okay. Says the gemorah. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Ad Arba Shais. So back to Shachris. Rabbi Yehuda says you have to till 4 hours of the day to say Shachris, right? He's very machmer. Chacham said you've got till midday. Rabbi Yehuda said no, 4 hours. Ibailu ad v'ad bechal idil ad v'loy ad bechal. When it says you've got till 4 hours, does that mean you can also pray in the 4th hour? Or no, you've got till 4 hours. If I say you've got to be out of here by 10, it means 10 o'clock, you have to leave. But if I say that you've got till the 4th hour or till the 10th hour to finish the job, does that mean does that include the 10th hour? Does that include the 4th hour? So it's not clear, right? So Toshma, now take a look in Rashi, just interesting. Advad Bechal, bottom line in Rashi. Rashi clarifies, Rabbi Yehuda Huda Kabay. It's only a kasha on Rabbi Yehuda that says you've got till 4 hours. According to Rabbanan, they say clearly, Ad v'layad b'chal. Rabbanan said you got till chatzais. Chatzais is a moment in time, midday, right? So according to Chatzais, it's clear it's midday. According to Rabbi Yehuda, do you have that? Okay. So it's clear the plug mincha. You have to understand from this. It's clear the plug mincha doesn't mean like chatzais, a specific moment in time. Plug mincha means half the afternoon. Doesn't mean the middle of the afternoon. It's half the afternoon. Plug, half, as opposed to the middle. So he says you got till half the afternoon. That's already, well, does that include the second half? It doesn't include, which half? Ad plug mincha, you got till the half. That's the way they understand it. So says gemorah, Toshma. Rabbi Yehuda Omer ad plug mincha. Rabbi Yehuda says you have till plug, the middle of the afternoon. If it doesn't include the second half, that's going to explain that there's a machlokes. That makes sense that there's a machlokes between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbanan. If you're going to tell me it includes that last hour, Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbanan, meaning what? Rabbi Yehuda said you have till half of the afternoon, right? Plaga mincha. Now, if he's including the second half, right? If it includes the half, meaning the second half, so that means you've got till night to daven mincha, till shkia, till night. That's the same thing as Chacham. Chacham said you've got till night to daven mincha, and he said you've got till the afternoon. Does he include the afternoon? No. Well, the afternoon is if you're including the afternoon. So that's the bottom. It's the same thing. You've got till shkia. It's the same thing. So it must mean, without the second half, ad plug v'layad bechal. You don't include the plug mincha till plug, but not including plug, right? Otherwise, there's no machlokes. Rabbi Yehuda is Rabbanan. They're both saying you've got till nightfall. So it must mean you've got till Till 75 minutes before nightfall. Elamai. So now we've established quite clearly. No way out of this. Rabbi Yehuda must mean you've got till plug and not after plug. Till 75 minutes for nightfall, but not till nightfall. Elamai ad v'loyad b'chlal. So what are you going to tell me? It means ad v'loyad b'chlal. You're not going to include the ad, right? You're not including that time, the last hour, the last time frame. So Amos Sefer, how are you going to understand the second half of the price? It says Rishon Musaf and Kol Hayom. The second half of this price says for Musaf, Chacham said you got the whole day to daven Musaf. Musaf the whole day, from morning to evening till nightfall. you can daven musaf. Reb Yehuda ad sheva shas. Reb Yehuda said you got till 7 hours. Okay, there's no problem with that. He says you got 7 till 1 in the afternoon, and they say you've got musaf till 6 o'clock at night. Nice big gap. So what's a kasha? Listen to this. V'tanya. There's another brisa. The second brisa says hoyu lefanu shtei tefillos. You've got in front of you 2 options. At Simchas Torah, you had a long shachris. You've got 2 options now, right? Acha shel musaf, v'acha shel mincha. You're faced with musaf and mincha. So what should you daven? Mispal shel mincha, v'acha shel musaf. You first do musaf, first do mincha, and then you should do musaf. Shazut adir v'zuein adir. First do musaf, mincha, because mincha is tadar. You always do the frequent one. So since mincha you do every day, and musaf you do once a week, so first do mincha. No, you should first do musaf and then mincha. Why? Because musaf's time elapses before. Because according to Rabbi Yehuda, you've got till 7 o'clock, till 7 hours in a day. Dahan, you've got till 1 p.m. to daven musaf. Mincha, you've got till 6 p.m. Or according to Rabbi Yehuda, you've got till 3 p.m. So the time will go out for musaf before it goes out for mincha. So what you do first, according to Rabbi Yehuda, do mincha first, because that's going to expire fast. Till now, there's no kasha. The gemorah asks, if you're going to tell me where Rabbi Yehuda says you've got till 7 hours, right? That means that's why you have 2 tefillos at the same time. You could be faced with a mincha and a musaf simultaneously. If when Rabbi Yehuda says you have till 7 o'clock, it doesn't include the 7th hour. You'll never have mincha and musaf at the same time, according to Rabbi Yehuda. Why? As soon as it's time for mincha, musaf is gone. Because in the 6th hour, you could daven musaf, and comes the 7th hour, you can no longer daven musaf. It's too late. Only if Rabbi Yehuda says you're including the ad bechlal, you could daven in the 7th hour, then you have mincha musaf at the same time. But if you can only daven musaf in the 6th hour, and when he says you got till Shas Shvi'is to daven musaf, it doesn't mean you got the 7th hour. You've only got till the 7th hour. So you'll never have mincha musaf at the same time. So, Elamai ad v'ad b'chal. So from here you'll see that when he says you got till Shas Shvi'is or till Plaga, means including the 7th hour, including Plaga Mincha. Elamai ad v'ad b'chal. So kasha ratio. If you're going to say that, then you got a kasha on the ratio. So either way you got a kasha, either from the ratio of the brisa, from the safe of the brisa. What are you going to do? So Gemara answers, Mi savras the high plag mincha plag achronim kama. Plag Rishonim kama. Do you think Rabbi Yehuda is talking about the first plag? He's talking about the second plag. Meaning, when Rabbi Yehuda says you have till plag mincha, forget about mincha gedolah for a second. Plag mincha means mincha ketana, right? We've established he's talking about mincha ketana. He says you got till plag mincha. Which plag mincha did he mean? The second plug or the first plug? In other words, from 3 in the afternoon, there's 2 halves. There's 3 to 4 and from 4 to 5, right? So he says you got till plug. We assumed he means you got till the second plug. And then if it's ad bichlal, then you have till nightfall. No, he means you got till the first plug. You got till 3. And then 3 includes till 4. Ad bichlal is, so you got the first plug. He's referring to the first plug. The first half. You've got till but not till the beginning of the first half, you've got till the end of the first half, which is the beginning of the second half. So either way, it's the same time. You got till plug the middle, but he means the end of the first half as opposed to the beginning of the second half. It took me a long time to understand what he's talking about. I'll be honest with you. I was like, what on earth is going on over here? All right. So, let's read it again. Mi sovas high plug mincha plug achronim kama. Plag Rishonim kama. He's talking about the first half. V'achei kama, and this is what we were saying. Amos nafak plag Rishonim v'al plag achronim. When, because it gave a share of 11.5 hours. He says, when does the first plug leave and the second plug come in? That happens at 75 minutes before nightfall. 10 hours or 45 minutes in the day, that's when the end of the first half. So, but he's not saying he's not saying from that plug, from the beginning of the first plug, but that's when the end of the first plug is. He's just telling you when the end of the first plug is, otherwise you don't know when you could have mincha, right? Amar Rav Nachman, Afanana Mitanina, Rabbi Yehuda Babelva. We have another brisa that's going to establish to be the same din as as Rabbi Yehuda. That what? He was made. Rabbi Yehuda was made. There's a Masechus called Edius and a bunch of testimonies. Some say it's really called Idius, which is high level, the Idius, the best karka, or the best, like the strongest karka, the strongest Mishnah. So he's made Chamisha Dvarim. He testified 5 things. First thing, Shemamayim es a Ketana. It's a Gerushin Darabanan of a Ketana. It's rabbinical Gerushin. V'shemasin es a Isha al Pi Eidachad. A woman can get married if there's one witness, meaning one witness comes and said he saw that this woman's husband died in a crash. There's no other testimony. So how could you normally need to? He was made. No, if there's one witness, she can get married. Mishum Maguna Kilo Barabanan. One witness, she can get married. Valtarnagol Shiniskol B'Yushalayim. They stoned a chicken in Yerushalayim. Why? Al Shahargas HaNefesh. In other words, there's a din that if an animal kills someone intentionally, you kill it, right? So you can ask yourself, how does a chicken kill someone? We're not talking about from stomach vice. It's got to intentionally kill someone. So Rashi says it's talking about a chicken pecked away at some newborn's head. You killed it. So what do? You have to kill the chicken.
One second. By a bull, by an animal, you
have to kill the animal.
but it has to be 3 times.
No. One time you kill it.
What, a chicken?
Yeah. So the gemorah that says by shar sheniskal 3 times, and it's a shar muad, it's talking about shar that was it gored and it ran away, and then 3rd time they catch it. But if they catch it after the first time, they kill it the first time. It's a pasuk in the Torah, you kill the animal.
By
right?
shar muad?
So the shar muad is talking about it gored and ran away. You didn't catch it, then it gored and ran away again. That's what Gemara says over there. Otherwise,
isn't it 3 times?
Yeah, it ran away. You didn't catch it. It gored, it ran away. You didn't catch it. Then it did it again. It went on a spree.
That's how you make it a muad.
Yeah, that's how you make it a muad. It gored and ran away.
And then it has certain other
Yeah,
implications.
but it would. That's why the guy's got to pay extra if it's a mood. But how did it kill 3 times? After the first time, you got to kill it, right? That's your kasha. You got to kill it after the first time because it ran away. Or did it all together? It's a chamasnik. It goes 3 people, one after the other, and that's it. but okay, that doesn't work according to all the shitas, I think, because it has to be on a separate day, maybe. But it's mood. Or he has to protect. He has the Bailam has to know to protect it. So it says the Gemara, right? So it says the Gemara. So Tarnugol Shaharag Sheniskal B'Yushalayim. Now he also says meaning what? You have to pour wine on the mizbeach. On the Sabbath, when you make a sacrifice, you're supposed to pour wine. Now, less than 40 days, it's called yain megita. It's grape juice. It's not wine. It hasn't fermented yet. It's not called wine. So you testified that after 40 days, it's already called wine. I'm not sure if it always called wine or he noticed that they saw that after 4 days it already had the characteristics of wine. It's got to be mashaka. It has to be alcoholic. It has to have some alcoholic content in order for it to be considered yayin. Grape juice is a mashaka. Grape juice doesn't make you get drunk. Valtomet shachar. This is what's pertinent to us. Valtomet shachar, the morning sacrifice, shekar of barbashais. They were makriv of the tomet shachar 4 hours in a day. Okay. And Rashi explains 4 hours and not more than 4 hours. They didn't bring the Tomash Shachar after 4 hours. That's like who? That's like Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says Shachar is till 4 hours. Shma mina ad va'ad bechlal shma mina. You see from here that when he says 4 hours, you got including the 4th hour. Because he saw it in the 4th hour. They sacrificed in the 4th hour, right? Shekar ba'ar b'shais doesn't mean lifnei ar b'shais. The implication is it was sacrificed in the 4th hour. Meaning you can also daven shachris in the 4th hour. Ad va'ad bechlal. You have the 4th hour, you can also daven in the 4th hour. Amar of Kahana, Rabbi Yehuda, we passing like Rabbi Yehuda. Why? Since it's passing like this in the Bechirsa, in Mesechas Edius, they testify, there was a testimony, this is what happened, we passing like that. Take a look in Rashi, just interestingly. Take a look in Rashi. Where's the Rashi? It's like the last narrow line. But Bechirsa, Adis Kari Bechirsa. Adis is considered like the chosen one. Or the right? Why? Shalach Gais and Adis, we pass in like those testimonies. It's like a bunch of testimonies. Look, I was made. This is what they did in the Beis Hamikdash. Were you going to go argue with him? He was made. He testified. This is what he saw. So machlekes. This is what he saw. This is what he heard. There happens to be a machlekes. There's rise the Khan. Some say it's called Adis because it's Idis. I said because it's like the best karka. But either way, you have to understand. How could Chazal, how could the Rabbanon argue with the Brisa that says in Adis that they did till 4th hour? How could they say after Chatzais? What's pshat? So what you have to say is that they said the testimony was he saw them being makrav in the 4th hour. It doesn't mean that they didn't do it afterwards. Maybe they did it afterwards also. That's the chayr. We have to say something along those lines. All right. It turns out it's a big machlekes. I think we discussed this. I can't remember. Can you daven shachris according to Rabbi Yehuda after the 4th hour? Do you have till chatzais either way? B'diavad. In Pashas b'diavad, you could daven till chatzais. You get schar tefillah, maybe not tefillah b'zmana. You could daven. It's not b'chalav tefillah. After chatzais, you can't daven shachris b'chlal. You can daven mincha. So it turns out, when can you not daven b'chlal? There's one time of the day you can't daven, from 12 till 12:30. You can't daven shachris from chatzais. From 12 till 12:30, you can't daven mincha till 12:30, till chatzais and half an hour. So l'chayra, most sheetas hold, then you can't daven b'chal. Some say yeah, you can still daven shachris, but pashas you can't daven shachris after chatzais, and you can't daven mincha either. From then on, the rest of the day, night you can daven. Half an hour, also this power. Okay, it says the gemorah.
You can't daven anything. You can't daven shachris.
You can't daven shachris. You can't daven.
Mincha.
You could have on Shabbos. You could have Musaf. Good point. I like it. That's what Musaf came. Added half an hour in the day. What can you do? Huh? He gives kedusha to that time. Huh? Yeah. Shabbos, Chodesh. Okay. Says the gemorah. Hold on. Man Tana Laha. Who is the author of this brisa? The Tana Rabbanan. It says in the brisa, V'chama shemesh v'nomes. It's supposed to talk about the man that came down from heaven, and the sun got hot, and it would melt the man. Wherever they didn't get a chance to eat, it melted the man. Could you imagine? You get food that tastes like anything you want, and there's no doctors telling you it's unhealthy. This is the healthiest thing, spiritual food. And they couldn't finish it. There was so much shefa, they couldn't finish it. It was just like too much. So what happened? The sun came and melted and created rivers of nacholim, streams of liquefied man that flowed away. I don't know where it went. That's what happened. So v'chama shamish v'nomes, it melted. When did this happen? Ba'arba shais. The Brisa says, when did it melt the food? Ba'arba shais. 4 hours into the day. Was it really 4 hours? Or was it really 6 hours? You're asking yourself, what's this got to do with us, yeah? And I'll tell you why. Because it says, take a look in the pasuk. It says, "V'yuk." I don't know if you have it here. It says, "V'yuk tu aisei b'bayker." They picked the man in the morning. Ish kfi achlai. Each person ate what he could. V'chama shamesh v'nomes, and then it melted. The implication is that in the morning it did melt. After the morning it melted. So when is the morning? 4 hours. If it melted at 4 hours, that's when you daven shachris. 4 hours, like who? Rabbi Yehuda. So the implication here is did this happen in the 4th hour or did this happen in the 6th hour? I'll prove it to you. It says, but it said by Avram Avinu, he sat by his tent the hottest time of the day. That is Harei Sheisha Sama. That's l'chayr 6 hours. Why? Why is that 6 hours? Because K'chay Mayayim is, it's hot, the Rashi explains, it's hot everywhere. Midday in the summer, it's hot everywhere, whether you're in the shade or whether you're in the sun. So K'chay Mayayim means the whole day is hot. It's hot everywhere. Chama Shemesh, Rashi says, we're going to see in a second, it's only hot in the sun. When's that? 4th hour of the day, in the sun, you're hot. 10 a.m., you're standing in the sun, it's hot. When you're in the cell, when you're not in the sun, when there's no direct sunlight, it's not hot. It's nice and cool. So that's k'chayma hashemesh. You have to be in the sun to be hot. Not in the sun, not hot. What about 3 in the morning? That's not hot, not here, not there. Not in the sun you're not hot. It's 8 a.m., even if you're in the sun, it's not hot. Even in the summer, you're not hot in the sun. So 4 hours of the day in the sun, you're already hot. At 6 hours a day, you're hot, whether you're in the sun or you're not in the sun. That's the little Hagdama over here. So the Gemara says, sorry, he sat outside, the 3 angels come to him, there's this in the 6th hour of the day, right? Boiling hot day. So what does kacham hashemesh mean? V'cham hashemesh v'names must mean arba shais. In other words, the Gemara is saying, why wouldn't it say kacham hashemesh here? Why does it say a different lashon of kacham hashemesh? Here's cham hashemesh, there says chayim hayom. So there's a difference. Cham hashemesh means only till 4 hours. That's the Gemara's understanding. Otherwise, we would just say chayim hashemesh. So chayim hayom, sorry. So Mani, who is this? Who is the author of this brisa? Reb Yehuda v'Reb Chaim. This is neither of them. Why? Reb Yehuda Adar b'shas nami tzafrahu. According to Reb Yehuda, you could daven shachas in the 4th hour. It's also still morning, and here it implies that from the 4th hour it melted. It was no longer morning. It says it melted, meaning it's the 4th hour, and it's no longer Baker. Yehuda says you got till the 4th hour is Baker. Irabanan ad chatzais nami tzafra. Kunta Rabbanan, it's morning till chatzais, right? And here it says it melted the 4th hour in. The Gemara answers, Ibai Seimer Reb Yehuda, Ibai Seimer Rabbanan. You can learn it either Rabbanan or Reb Yehuda. We're not stuck. Why? Ibai Seimer Rabbanan Amakra. It says in the pasuk, Babaika. It doesn't say they ate the man in the morning. It says Babaika, the morning of the morning. Meaning, split the morning in 2, and they ate the man the first half. So you're right. Rabbanan say morning is chatzais. You get over shachas till chatzais. But guess what? They ate the man in the babaika, which is what? 4 hours. Or 3 hours. I guess he could say even 3 hours. The baker 6 hours, they got to 3 hours. By Seima Rabbi Yehuda, you could say it's Rabbi Yehuda. How does it work, Rabbi Yehuda? Hi Baker Yisera, the extra word Baker, what does it tell me? Lahaktim le'shachas. You're right, Rabbi Yehuda says till 4 hours in the morning. But they ate, but Baker mean they ate till the 3rd hour. And after that it melted. So either way, the extra Baker is either telling me split the morning in half, or according to Rabbi Yehuda, take an hour off. You don't have to split it in half, just take off an hour. Or some say you have to take off a few minutes. Lefi Rabbi Yehuda shita. Everyone agrees. When did this happen? 4 hours into the day. So they definitely ate the man till 4 in the morning. I guess we can learn from this. Our DNA says you should have breakfast by 4 hours in the day, right?
But that's generally before davening, and that's the problem.
No, it can't be before davening. You have to daven before. You should daven and eat before 4 hours in the day. Seisman tefillah, right? It's also seisman achila.
What is it considered the day? From chatzos or from
my life. It's a machlekes if the day starts at. Good question. It's a machlekes if the day starts at loisa shachar or neitza chama. How do we evaluate the 4 hours? It's machlekes Magen Avraham and the Gra. The Gra says you start from. According to the Gra, it's the earliest share. According to the Gra, according to Magen Avraham, you have more time. The Gra knocks off like a bit of time. Magen Avraham says you got like an extra. And then after me, when says one Krishna, when says one Tefillah, it's all in the same. It's all the same machlekes. How do you chesh with this? According to the Gra, it's from Neitz to Shkia. And according to Magen Avraham, you got from Alais till. The day is much longer. You're from Alais till Tzeis. It's a whole different cheshbon, right? We're meikol for Bapashas. We're meikol for whatever reasons. even though it's a deraisa, for example, Krishma is a deraisa, if Moshe says the minig ha'olam for hundreds of years, for 2,000 years, was like the Magen Avram, and you don't have to be chayshish for the gra. You could daven. Some want to be makbid to daven Krishma for what's called the gra time. But for Shemoneh Esrei, which is for sure Darbanan, the Zman is for sure Darbanan, so I think people are more makel. There's no people are more makel to daven Shemoneh Esrei, the Magen Avram Zman. Halavai we should say Krishma B'chal, Kavana, not worry too much. Either. Well, you got to do it on time. You don't do it on time, you blew it, right? But yeah.
Well, 1 second. You could do the Chassidus Shemoneh also.
So we said yesterday.
Tom Plus.
I don't know what there's 100 Chassidus. Each one's got his own minhag. We're not gonna comment on that. Okay, I think we're gonna have to wrap up today. It's we're getting late. Did we want to get to the 2 dots over here? Did we get to the dots?
No, we're.
So it says we got to the dots, right? Okay. No, let's get to the dots. Sorry. So. My mashma. The Gemara asks, my mashma, meaning, how do you know this? Where'd you get this idea from? Where did this whole sugya come from? 6 shas, 4 shas. I gave you a little hakdama, because I already saw the Gemara. My mashma, Ravacha Bayakov, Amakrav, Chama Shemesh V'Names. The pasuk says that the sun is hot, and it melted the man. Ezu shash Hashemesh Chama Tzel Seinen. What time of the day is the sun hot? But the shadows are cold. In 4 hours of the day, it's hot if you're directly in the sun, but it's not hot if you're not in the sun. Indirect sunlight won't heat you up. After then, the 5th hour of the day, it's hot even if you're not in the sun directly. Shkoyach, have a wonderful day. You're in charge of